Welcome to another episode of Neon Radio. I'm Reece.
And this is Dan.
And this week we're doing The Dark Knight, the second film in the Christopher Nolan, The Dark Knight Trilogy. The Dark Knight picks up 9 months after the events of Batman Begins. Crime is down in Gotham City, but when the Joker appears wreaking havoc and causing chaos, Batman and his allies, Lieutenant James Gordon, District Attorney Harvey Dent, have to find a way to stop the Clown Prince of Crime.
This movie was pretty good. Good.
This movie rips. I love this movie.
It was good. It's
I love how you're just so like, yeah, it was good, man. It was okay.
Come on, this is like probably the 15th time. It's probably the 5th time I've watched this movie, and every single time I watch it, it's not as good as the time before it.
That's so weird, though.
Only reason why is we have done a run of Chris Nolan movies, and to me, they all pretty much look the same.
Yeah. I mean, well, I won't agree with that, but I do think that, like, doing all these movies in a row doesn't help with, like, feeling as if you're disconnected from them.
Yeah. I think it was a hard but good sit, and don't get me wrong, it's still a fantastic movie, and yeah, you'll get my score soon.
Yeah, look, this movie is fantastic, especially the acting in it. I mean, you get someone like Heath Ledger as the Joker, and I mean, this is seminal work. It's iconic.
Yeah.
And I don't think you're going to ever get a Joker better than this. I mean, we've got Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker. He's phenomenal. But honestly, in my humble opinion, I think that Heath Ledger just blows him out of the water with this.
I think they're both just as good as each other in different worlds.
The funny thing is I thought that before rewatching this movie. I actually went into this movie thinking to myself, I'm not going to like it as much as the others. And it's because I have some gripes with the actual story's fourth act. And it does have a fourth act. It's like the whole fairy concept is a fourth act for the film, and it kind of elongates the film and makes it feel a little bloated, a little long. Yeah,
I agree. I personally agree. I think as well that there's a lot going on in this movie. And I think there's too much going on, and everything just sort of seems to fall in place for the Joker. That's something that sort of bugs me.
I don't think there's too much going on. I think there's a lot going on. But I do think that that was one of the things I went in thinking, and I came out thinking to myself, I like this so much more than I remembered. It was funny because I went in with the negative thought and came out with a super positive thought.
Very interesting.
And I think it has a lot to do with the actors and Heath Ledger and also Aaron Eckhart as Harvey Dent.
Yeah. Played so well.
Oh, so good.
He needs to be given more roles.
Give him more roles. And I don't care what anyone says. I think that him in Battle LA is fantastic still.
Yeah, we spoke about that on the podcast.
Yeah.
It's good.
I think it's an underrated film, similar to like Black Hawk Down with aliens.
Yeah.
But I digress.
Yeah.
The themes of this film are strong as well, like super strong, and there's an array of them, similar to Batman Begins. The idea of things will get worse before they get better.
Yep.
The concept of having a symbol of hope for the city of Gotham in this is important. And the Joker bringing upon anarchy for change. We find throughout the film that isn't his, what he wants to do.
Yeah.
He just likes chaos, right?
That's right. Yeah. He just likes to stuff around with things.
Yeah.
And let it happen from there.
Yeah.
And just sort of walk away.
And he has this quotation in it, which I think is really fitting. And that is, I'm like a dog chasing a car. I don't know what I'd do when I actually caught it. Yeah. Can you do it? I just like chasing it.
Can you do it in the Joker?
I'm like a dog chasing a car.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Thank you.
Don't ask me to do it because I'm terrible at that.
I think the script is tight though. As bloated as that fourth act feels, definitely the dialogue is super tight.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing wrong with the dialogue in this film at all.
It's typical of a Nolan film. Yeah. You know you're going to get something that's meaty but tight. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like having a really good... What's the brisket you had? You've been making? Yeah. He's been talking about this brisket he cooked for 12 hours yesterday. It's like the brisket Dan cooked. It's meaty, but you know that it's just got enough meat on it.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So in that way, I just think that like the movie script is really well done, and they've obviously cut things that are important and added things that are important as well.
Yeah.
But going on to the ideas with like the cinematography here, because I know that you have gripes with it.
Yeah, I'm probably the only person in the world that has that issue. But to me, I think that Chris Nolan films, they have a real industrial look to them. Like if you compare it to, let's say, the trailer for the new Joker that's coming out, you can actually see it's shot artistically.
Yeah,
I mean that's what I like. But again, it's a personal.
Well, the new Matt Reeves Batman, you're saying?
Sorry, yeah, the new Matt Reeves Batman.
The Bat Reeves,
yeah,
Bat Reeves Batman.
He could be known for that later on. I'm not going to trade that.
I'll say it.
Yeah. That's there. When I go to the movies, I like to be taken to a different world that has that sort of art vibe to it.
I get what you mean. You like an artistic look to your films.
Yeah.
But I also think that so you'd like. I get what I just finally clicked to me what Dan means, because I've been ribbing him about the fact that he hates the cinematography of it.
I shouldn't say hate. It's a hard word.
You just dislike.
I dislike. Yeah.
But I do think that I get it now. It's more of like a poppy movie vibe with Nolan, and you like the artful styles of like a little art house film.
Yeah, that's right. And I find that those art house
that's why you like Midsummer and stuff like that.
Yeah, even so, like if you look at just look at the trailers between the new Batman that's coming out compared to this one. There's depth. There's everything shot at eye level. They have scope on it, even though it's just a trailer. Where I find Nolan films, they're either super wide or they're right up in your grill, and it just has that claustrophobic feel.
I get it.
Yeah.
To like preface like an ending of this, I think that this movie has an amalgamation of really, really cool scenes. Now, I know that's a silly thing to say. It sounds really like cheap.
Oh, there's cool scenes all the way through this.
Oh my God, from start to end.
Yeah, actually, we should just say, I know this is going to be a long one, but the opening scene with the introduction of the Joker is probably one of the best villain entrances of all time.
He has so many entrances in this movie. He feels like he's an array of entrances.
Yeah.
Like has an entrance in the heist part. He has an entrance in the whole the pencil part. Without giving story away, he has several entrances. And every single time, let's just face it, Joker steals the show.
He does.
He steals the show in this movie. And thankfully, people like Aaron Eckhart as Harvey Dent do take mantle when they're on screen and they feel like a presence. Yeah. But Joker, man.
Although I did feel that Christian Bale I don't think he performed.
But what about
up
Rachel?
To the task. Yeah, that's another thing too. Yeah.
For you?
Yeah, I just find that actor just very bland.
No, I like Maggie Gyllenhaal. It's hard to see her as Rachel as the part, but I think that she is her acting's fine. I think her acting's fine.
I just think there's no range there. It's just a very... there
wasn't much for her to chew on.
Again, cardboard cutout. That's what she was like.
Yeah.
To me, that's how I felt. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So to end off the review, I really like this movie. I've always really liked this movie. As much as I'm ribbing the film, as much as I'm putting things down, I think that the story, the characters, the acting, all of that takes upon itself and makes it better than what most people would think it is. Because at the end of the day, sure, it has a long fourth act, but I think that isn't the biggest deal over the whole movie. Like, as we said in the podcast, go listen to Spoil Radio podcast, the movie ended when you first watched it, the first time you watched it, and you were like, I want more.
Yeah, it was a sick ending.
Yeah, and although you don't have that same feeling after the 20th viewing for me or something, I still get goosebumps with the ending. So I'm giving this movie a high score, 9.5 out of 10. I would have gotten a 10 if it didn't have such a bloated ending.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm giving this an 8 out of 10. It's still a fantastic film, don't get me wrong. I think the Joker performance is out of this world. The opening scene's out of this world. Actually, any scene with the Joker in it's out of this world. Yeah, it does lose points to me, the technical aspects of things. Look, I don't care if it's shot on an IMAX thing.
I can see that.
Like, man, for me, if you're boasting about IMAX and the quality, I don't really care about that. I'd rather just give me a good meaty story. Luckily, Nolan provides a good story.
It's a super good story.
Yeah, and that's what I think. That's what helps with that. So yeah, I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go follow us on Neon Radio Reviews on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And Dan, you want to know how I got these scars?
How did you get those scars?
I don't know. I don't know where I was going with this ending.
But it's a good ending. Swipe out.